Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 22, To Plea or Not to Plea? That is the question. I'm your host, Dom. With me is my co-host, Heather.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going. It's cold. I don't like the snow.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've had enough of it myself. So, what'd you think of this episode?
I am loving it.
It's getting down to the wire here. We got 3 more episodes after this one. And we're supposedly going to know who A is. And Hannah's in jail. And things are terrible.
The trial is coming up.
The trial is coming up. Yeah, so Allison's, she's harking down on her lawyer here. She's trying to convince her lawyer, Rebecca, to take the stand, but Rebecca's like, absolutely not. You cannot do that. No one's going to believe you.
Yeah.
Like, what other option does Allie have at this point? Do you think she's going to out Mike?
You know, it's starting to look like she had the perfect opportunity this episode to place the blame on anybody that she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she could have gone through with who they have as her accomplice, or she could have pointed the finger at anybody else.
Yep.
You know, I think she's finally starting to come to the terms that she needs to take care of this herself.
Yeah, I mean, her lawyer is recommending to take the plea bargain, which is 15 years of jail time.
And then I think parole.
Yeah, she gets out, good behavior, you know, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like it's a really good deal.
Except for the fact that you're admitting that you murdered someone.
Right. You're admitting you murdered someone, but then Rebecca did say, you know, but if you go through with this trial and they find you guilty, you will have life without the chance of parole.
Right. I mean, what would you do in this situation? Would you take it, or would you fight like Allie's doing?
You know what? If I knew I didn't do it, because, I mean, I think we're all pretty sure that Allison did not do it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I didn't do it, I would fight it.
Yeah, I would too. I'm not going to sit there and admit to something I didn't do just because it's going to get me a better sentence.
Right.
I'll rot in hell for at least keep my integrity that I did not do it.
Right. You know, because that, even 15 years with parole, out on good behavior, you know, even if you're out in 15, 14, 13 years, that's still there, because no matter where you go, people are going to see that. They're going to know who you are.
It's on your job applicate. Like, you can't withhold that information from employers. Like, it's something that affects you forever. You know?
Right.
At least this, if she's acquitted and, you know, they don't find her guilty, you know, there's no charges against her. There's just the people left in the surrounding area that remember the trial. It's not like it's a big, like, O.J. Simpson worldwide news extravaganza. You know, it's localized. So she could get away and still lead a very happy life.
Mm-hmm. She could.
You know? So,
I mean, look at Spencer right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Spencer's dealing with this exact thing. She's off in Paris.
London,
whatever. And Melissa's there. So
I was so sad.
They just showed her so nonchalantly. I'm like, maybe when they were filming this, they didn't think anybody was gonna think Melissa was gonna be in the barrel. You know, so it wasn't like a big reveal.
I was so upset. I was flailing. I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
I was so sure it was gonna be her.
Yeah, I was hoping. I was
too.
You know,
it would have been a good twist.
Yeah, but you know, they have very sisterly bonding moments out there, and
they did.
You know, then Spencer's going off on a date with Colin, right? And
the flatmate.
Yep, they go see Shakespeare, and you know, all this stuff, and she didn't actually enjoy it, but you know, she had a good time. She didn't like the play for what it was, but she had a good time. Because it seemed like a modern twist on Shakespeare. They had cell phones and stuff.
That's what it sounded like, yeah.
Yeah. But then she found out that Colin's brother was running the production.
He was joking.
Oh, he was joking?
That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
He put on the poker face and made that a joke.
Oh, okay. He got me. He got
That
me. I
was a
thought
joke.
yeah. So she's like, "Oh, did you get the tickets this day? You know, did you get them just for me?" And he's like, "No, I had them, but you know, if I had known, I would have gotten them today. You know." And
He admitted to talking to Melissa a lot about her and what she liked and
right.
finding out more information on her and stuff. I mean, like, all in all, it seems pretty freaking creepy how much he's been doing to get
Yeah.
to know her.
But
But that's because that's what we're known to think when we see people doing that in this show.
well, that's true too. I mean, like we don't know the extent of he could have seen her in photos from Melissa. Melissa
Right.
mentioned she was coming down, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? She's kind of attractive. Let me
Yeah.
do some research here, and so I have a good chance." Like
Yeah, like I mean,
when you look at it from that perspective, that's not creepy at all.
yeah, there's guys all the time that'll go to sisters or brothers or, there's girls that do it too, that go to
Yeah.
siblings of or best friends of these people that they like and try to find out more about, hey, what do they like? What could I do to get their attention? That's completely normal.
Yeah, I mean they
But
had
in
fun.
Pretty
They
Little,
not
yeah.
only did they do that, they went and played darts, you know, and they shared a good night kiss,
Hmm.
you know. So, but I mean, what's up with her? Because we have her, she's with Colin here, she's with Toby back home. There
Well,
was the little fling with what's his face,
you got to
the
remember
painter. I
that
can't even think of his name.
uh, Johnny.
Johnny.
But you got to remember, I mean, she just got here. Her and Melissa, when they were talking, she brought up her relationship with Toby, and she flat out said, he became a cop to protect me, and then picked being a cop over me.
Hmm.
And that's when Melissa came back and said, sometimes you have to move on, and you have to be away from it to realize that it's not what you want anymore.
Right.
Sometimes a good thing isn't actually a good thing, but you don't see it until you don't have it anymore.
It's very, very true. It's very true.
And Melissa was tolerable throughout the entire episode.
She was. I normally can't stand her, and that's
She was
part of the
very
reason why I wanted her in the barrel.
right, but she was a very down to earth. She seemed happy.
Her and Spencer made this truce of we're gonna be sisters. This is sisters share clothes. This is what we never
Yeah.
had this experience. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And then we find out she's gone back to the exact same. She's never broken her routine. She's still the exact same Melissa, withholding information and it like
Trying to protect Spencer by
I mean that's her goal
lying.
all along. But
She's lying about
yeah.
it instead of informing Spencer exactly how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we got that going on. Then we have Ashley. She's learning information about Hannah now through Veronica.
Yep, Spencer's mom just
Yeah.
spilled all the details.
Yeah, and it's like so she's like trying to pinpoint Hannah down. She's Hannah's sneaking off. She knows what's up. She's like sneaking away. She's going to school. And
Sneaking out of school to go see Caleb.
yep, and it's all a mess. And then Hannah's mom shows up at Caleb's house.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "You're coming home now."
Yeah.
They go home and talk. Hannah spills the beans. She tells her mom basically everything. How, there was this locker. I thought Mona was in a barrel. And
Yeah. She even goes as far as saying I was going to hide everything.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, she basically tells everything except for A.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part she left out.
I mean, all
And
the
at
girls
this-
have really left this out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point now with all the girls where I'm just like, one of you guys need to open your mouth.
Well, they tried to.
They did try.
This is the first time since season 1.
Any of them.
Because when Mona was harassing them all, and when they finally caught Mona, they had came out and said Mona, it was someone was harassing them. It was out there. That's why Mona went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she got caught. So they go to the police station. Well, it starts with Caleb and Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
They go, and then all of a sudden, A wipes the phone out.
Yep.
So, who do we know that has this ability? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Because as much as I want to believe it's Hannah, they weren't putting on a show for anybody. It was just Hannah and Caleb. So,
but see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that, and like,
unless Hannah's got somebody that's doing this for her, and she's putting the show on for Caleb.
Exactly, because Caleb is the one that Hannah wanted to run. Hannah wanted to run away. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to, go and talk to them. None of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She did not want to do this, but Caleb pushed her into it. You saw her in the car when they got to the police station.
Yeah, that's true. So if it is Hannah, she's working with someone intelligent enough to be able to do that. For all we know, it could be Mona.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, like,
I'm not convinced Mona's dead anymore.
I'm not either. But, like, here's the thing. And I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit.
Yeah.
5 seasons of this show. How many times have we not had an A hint at the end?
Never.
This is the first episode. There was no A at the end. And where is Hannah?
Yeah, Hannah's in jail.
I flipped. I was like, they're either making this look really good because a lot of people think this, or this is actually what's going on, and Hannah does have a part in this.
Yeah.
Because we've gone through almost 5 complete seasons of this. This is 5 years of the show.
Yep.
That's over 100 episodes. We hit 100, didn't we?
Yeah. We're over 100.
We're at like 120 or something now. All right. Every episode, there has been an A at the end. There's been something. We've seen a hint as to what A was doing for the next episode. A was nowhere in this entire episode except for the text messages.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which was very conveniently timed. It was almost as if it was like an automated process that just...
It was.
So I'm not convinced.
I mean... I'm not either. I'm not convinced. I think Hannah has something to do with it.
She very well could. And as much as I want it to be Hannah, I still think it's Arya.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had a lot going on with Arya and Ezra this thing, and they basically finally said to each other, we're done.
Yeah, they have broken up. They are no longer together. She said that she wanted to be single when she went off to college. And
Ezra's like, what's the point in staying together now then? And
yeah,
I see his point. I don't see what the point was. If they knew they were going to break up, there's no point in staying together.
Right.
But here's the thing. I respect that conversation that they had. Because you have no clue how many people I know that will drag a relationship on for absolutely no reason. When they know, when you know you don't want to be with that person,
right,
you got to end it. You can't drag it on. You end it. That's it. Over.
Right. Right. You don't make it harder because dragging it on just makes it harder in the end.
Yep.
And the thing is that they're not breaking up because they don't care about each other, because they're not in love with each other. They're breaking up because Arya wants to have the life that she didn't get to have in high school because of being with him.
Yeah.
Does that mean that she wants to go be a little slut or whatever? Whatever she wants to do.
I don't think that's what she wants.
She's kind of pushing it right now with this whole juggling Andrew and Ezra thing.
Not really. I don't think she's juggling them because they did agree on some time apart.
Mm-hmm. They did.
And, that she was avoiding having that talk because she didn't know what she wanted. I mean,
right. I get it. This isn't the first time we've seen Arya do this.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Is it the right thing to do? No, you probably should have sat down and said something to Ezra. But at the same time, I don't think she did anything wrong.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was able to confront him, talk it out, hash it out, and they walked away better people
she did,
because of it.
She was extremely mature about it, too. I was... normally, when we see Arya do stuff like this, she's doing the crybaby face thing.
Yep.
And, there was none of that. She was extremely down to earth. She knew what she wanted, finally.
Yep.
But they have promised that they're going to continue to be significant parts of each other's lives.
Yeah, it's not me, it's you, but let's still be friends.
Yeah.
That's all I got out of that.
I mean, they both said that they can't imagine living a life without the other one in it.
Sure.
Sure. I mean,
I mean, they've been really close the last 4
They have
seasons.
been.
They have.
They have been.
They've also been through a lot. So,
They have been. I mean, he got shot.
I mean, they broke up, then he got shot, and they've basically been fused together with popsicle sticks and shoestring, you know, at this point. So it's been inevitable. The book, The Secrets, that's really what did it in. And
it was.
I mean, at the same point, that's why I still can't let Ezra go. And I was so convinced when all this stuff was going on with Ezra that he was innocent through this whole thing, that there were some blatantly obvious things staring me in the face that I was just like, nope. I mean, like, he wrote the book, yeah. But you don't need all those security cameras for a book.
There's actually, I saw something earlier through Wet Paint going around saying, should we really be overlooking Ezra?
I mean, he had the entire lair.
Yeah. Is he really as innocent as they're making him seem? Like, he's still a suspect. Arya, Hannah, Ezra, like everybody right now. I think the only 2 girls who aren't being pointed at is Spencer and Emily.
Yeah, I really don't see it being Emily. It would shock me if it was Emily, but it wouldn't even make sense. It wouldn't be satisfying. If it was Arya, I get it. You know, if it was Hannah, I get it. If it's Ezra, I get it. You know? Even if it's still Allie, I get it. It's too predictable, but I still get it. You know? If it's Mona, I get it. All those would be satisfying.
I'm still going off this whole twin thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still stuck on what Mona's friend said when she came into town about how Mona's mind worked like it was 2 completely different people.
Right.
What if Mona was the twin and the girl who got killed was the twin sister and Mona is still alive?
Yeah, that's completely possible too.
You know, and she's nobody knew about this twin, so she's hiding somewhere or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, and not even Mike knows, or maybe the twin sister to Mona is the one that got involved with Mike, or, you know, like, there's still that whole aspect too, because we have been told that there is a twin somewhere in this mess.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not been any hints on it.
The twin is the dog, and they both ran away. Yeah, but then we have, you know, Ezra, Arya, Emily. They all get together, and they're trying to find who. They start going after the last known, like, whereabouts of Mona. So they're like, hey, you know, the lawyer that released all this stuff from Mona. Let's go question him.
Because Emily and Arya were trying to hash out an idea of what to do next, because they've reached a dead end. Because Arya found out that Cyrus has had a setback and was placed in the ICU at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So Emily was the one that was like, hey, we need to go talk to Ezra. It
was the Varjak. Maybe Ezra has something in Varjak in his notes or something.
Right. Maybe he's come across this name. And that's when Arya was like,
Yeah. Yep. So Ezra takes it upon himself to go see Mona's lawyer. They hash it out back and forth. He gets in a panic. He starts running.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they tail him. They follow him back to this house. Emily gets in. That's when Ezra and Arya get locked out, where they're able to hash out their relationship. But in the meantime, Emily stumbles across a receipt from a pizza place with the name Varjak on it and a phone number. And then there was some interesting news. People online kind of alphabetized the phone number. And what did the name spell out?
The name spells out, the phone number itself, when looked at on a cell phone or whatever, it spells out Sara Harvey. Perfectly. To a T spells out Sara Harvey.
So what connection do you think we can make between Sara Harvey and Varjak?
Well, we have been told...
Well, for those watching who forgot about Sara Harvey, just who is Sara Harvey real quick?
Sara Harvey was the girl. Hannah did a research back in season 2, season 3, basically looking into other girls who look like Allie, who went missing around the same time as Allie. And Sara Harvey was the girl from the town, couple towns over, the one that they went to their friends and who had the same number of friends and everything. Like, they were identical.
This was back in, I want to say, season...
I think it was 2.
3?
2 or 3. Like, it was
three.
early.
Yeah.
And so Sarah Harvey was somebody who'd gone missing the day after Allie went missing.
Mm-hmm.
They said that she'd been seen riding her bike in the park. Um, Police found the bike. No girl. We have not heard the name Sara Harvey. We have not seen Sarah. We've not even touched on Sarah since the girls went to go see her friends.
Right.
And Marlene King has come out and said that we will get answers about Sara Harvey at some point.
Yeah, we're going to see her within the next 2 seasons, and it seems like we're going to be seeing her a lot sooner than we thought.
Yeah, because as I said, when you look at your phones and I don't know what the number is off the top of my head. It's in there somewhere.
727-242-7839.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost too much of a coincidence to really want to be overlooked, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's identical. Like it's spelled out perfectly. It's not there's not an extra letter, there's not a missing letter. It's nope. Sara Harvey straight up. So
perfectly. And yeah. So I mean that's a big hint.
Yeah.
It's a huge hint.
Yep, so they got that piece of information, and then in the meantime, when Hannah goes to talk to the police to, you know, reveal A's been doing this, they get to the police station, Hannah's phone's been wiped, and then all the girls' phones start getting wiped.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hannah's in jail because they have new evidence of Mona's clothing with Hannah's blood on it. And we know the blood came from A with the eyedropper, and, you know, we know all that. So
we saw that at the end of a few episodes ago, wasn't it? When they were, yeah,
that was. I think that was the end of last week's.
Was it? I don't know if it was the end of last. No, last week's was the Bible.
Yes, you're right. So yeah, it was the episode beforehand.
Which, if you caught on, all the inmates were doing work for somebody.
Yes. Yep.
So obviously, A has been using the Bibles to pay off inmates to go after Allie. Mm-hmm. Because this episode, Allie got locked into... Well, at first, Allie's cell was ransacked. It was tossed all over, and then...
something looked like it was written in lipstick or something.
Right, and then when she moved the mattress behind it, the wall had the words, "Take the plea" on it. Then a little bit later, she was in the laundry room, it looked like, and she was ironing clothing and stuff. And other inmates were in there, and they were going out the doors and closing the doors and locking her in there. And she was attacked. We don't know by who. We don't know.
Looked like she got burned on her arm.
It looks like
from the iron.
Yeah, it looks like that. And then she had a gash of some sort.
Yep.
And they were trying to, whoever it was trying to scare her into taking the plea.
I mean, it very well could have just been a regular inmate. It may not have even been anything to do with A. Like, obviously A is paying them, but it could have just been an inmate that bullied her because A is paying. Right. So.
I mean, that would explain how A is getting into the jail. Mm-hmm. How A is getting the little cans to her and the messages. She's paying off. A is paying off inmates.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty damn clever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Hannah's framed for murder now. She's locked in jail. And then, as you said, there's no A scene at the end. So it kind of brings some red flags.
I was lost. Like, we're sitting here and we're watching this, and we're literally like, that's it? We have never seen that before.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
Is there anything else that I missed from this episode?
I don't think so. I mean, it was a jumpy episode again. It was everywhere.
It was.
I mean, I think we pretty much got all of it, though.
Yeah. Well, next week, the episode is called "The Melody Lingers On." Allison's trial is about to begin, and the once confident Queen Bee is not so confident about her fate, as testimony reveals not only her lies, but the lies of those close to her. So, seems like she's going to spill the beans on everything. That right there seems to me she's taking the stand.
Well, in the spoilers for next week, it is said that line actually means that it's not her lies that she's telling. somebody else's lies are being like they're exposing their own lies on the stands.
Oh, so that's gonna be Hannah.
Well,
Gotta be.
I don't think Hannah gets on the stand. I know Jason does. I know Jason and her dad are there.
I don't know. This is gonna be
A
the
big
episode to watch. You're not gonna want to miss this one. Not only that, meanwhile, Spencer, Arya, Emily, and Caleb search for information to clear the imprisoned Hannah, following a string of clues that might be left by Mona or possibly planted by A.
Yep.
So it's gonna be an intense episode.
They're saying there's a lot going on next week. I mean, I know that they finally get the hint. Hey, if we found Bethany's voice clip in Mona's room, what else is in Mona's room?
Yep.
You know, there's a lot.
Yep. Yeah, it's a whole lot going on. We find out a lot more stuff from Andrew. You know, that's going to come up in the episode. There's going to be a lot more involving Varjek in the episode, and I don't know. Me personally, I'm looking forward to the trial. I can't wait to see what's going on.
I am too.
It's clearly not going to be resolved in one episode, but I think the episode following, episode 24, I think we're going to get the definite of what's going on with the case. Yep. And then the reveal of A is going to happen in episode 25.
Yep.
Which is called the Dollhouse, if I'm not mistaken. So it kind of brings everything back full circle.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know, the last time we saw dolls, that was Mona playing with the dolls.
Well, don't forget, Allison in jail, she did get that little tiny doll of herself.
Right.
In the can.
Right. No, I totally get that. But Mona was the one that played with these dolls. She brushed their hair. She put them in the dollhouse. Like, we've even gone back after it was revealed that it was Mona, we saw flashbacks of her doing all this and setting it up when they were looking through, when Hannah discovered the apartment and she's looking through. And, yeah.
In the Christmas episode, wasn't there a doll of Mona somewhere? Didn't they put it where baby Jesus was supposed to be?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, for all we know, that could still be Mona. That could be Mona doing her twin, you know? Like, I don't know. The dolls scream Mona to me. It's so conflicting because there's evidence that points to Mona. There's evidence that points to Hannah. Back of my mind is still screaming Arya.
I know.
So I think it's going to be one of those three, and if it's not, I'm going to be extremely, extremely surprised.
He's the other one that people are pointing at is Andrew.
I don't know. Andrew's been very low key. I'd be kind of disappointed if it was Andrew.
I would be. If it was somebody that we don't see a lot, I would be like, come on, guys.
If it ends up being like, you know, the fruit vendor on the curb at I'm going to be, what? You know, it's got to be somebody prominent.
It's got to be somebody big.
Even like Jenna or Melissa at this point. I'm going to be like, really?
It's got to be somebody bigger than Toby, because when they did the reveal of Toby working for A, that shit blew up.
It did.
That was a huge deal. So it's got to be bigger than Toby, or they're just digging themselves
the
into
other person I would really enjoy it being is Caleb. I mean, Caleb knows how to do all this hacking and everything. We know that already. So if he's doing that, being like, oh yeah, Hannah, go do it. He knows she's going to do it, so he could just set up a thing and be like, program wipe.
That was the other reason that, I said this whole Hannah being in jail, no A at the end was kind of suspicious, because this half of the season, we've learned a lot about how Hannah knows this shit.
Yeah. Yep,
and obviously she's learned something from Caleb. What if she's only with Caleb to learn that stuff? I
mean, there's that too, but don't forget there was the really awkward out of place time when, was it Arya that was with Caleb and they were learning? She's like, oh no, you do it. You hack into your school. I'm going to teach you how. There was that too. So, like, maybe Arya and Caleb are working together, you know?
Yep.
That would be weird, but they can make it work.
Right.
I think that about wraps things up. You have anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was a all over episode, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good. And these last 3 episodes now, this season, they're going to be nail biters. They are.
Can't wait.
All right, Heather, where can the people find you?
everywhere on the interwebs at Chronixia.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomedom, Phenomedom. You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week, see you guys later.
Bye, guys.